to start in voiceover? Just get training, or is there anything else that?
Well, first you have to get training.
Yeah.
But everybody keeps telling you that everybody will tell you need a demo.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that you do not need a demo until you have the training to be able to compete. Because what's the point? People don't think about, I feel like most people don't think about the end goal of a demo. Yeah. The end goal of a demo is to get you in front of somebody and then for you to be able to match that in the room. So making a great demo that's produced by somebody and costs a lot, makes you sound amazing, and you had to do 12 takes to get it there. I know it sounds like it doesn't matter, but it does. It does matter because everything on that demo has to be reproducible when you walk in the room in literally 30 seconds after you looked at the copy. And if you can't do that, then there's no point in having a $3,000 beautiful produced demo if you can't really come with the goods when you get in the room, because you're not going to get any work that way.
Wow.
That's just the truth. And I know because I was there.
Yeah.
I made an ill-timed demo myself. Yeah. Okay? So I know because I'm like, I'm an actress. I'll wing it.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Givin Game, the podcast. I'm your host, Rickey! And today's guest, we got another special one, y'all. But this guest is actually the one that you hear. It's a very, very talented voiceover actress. She's the voice of Cookie in Disney Junior's Alice's Wonderland Bakery, Meerkat on Netflix's Gabby's DollHouse, JoJo in Madden NFL 18 and 20. She's also in Netflix's Boss Baby, Tiffany Benson on Netflix's Fast and Furious Spy Racers. She does multiple voices on Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. And Moxie Swaggerman on Netflix's The Epic Tales of Captain Underpants in Space. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Secunda Wood. Yeah.
Where do I look? You?
You look at me, yeah. If you have a point that you want to hit, then you go right to your people. That's your camera right there. So they be like, "Ooh, you want to hit one home." All right. So I always start this off with, where are you from?
Los Angeles, California.
Hey,
born and raised.
Got a native in the house.
Yes.
Nice.
I know. There aren't that many of us, it seems.
No, we unicorns in the flesh.
It's the only ones here for Christmas. Everybody's gone to see their real families.
We just here.
We'll get all the jobs. You go. You go.
You leave, I stay. I wanted to get right into it because there's so much I want to cover.
Okay.
But we're going to cover so much in this episode. I want to cover, how to get into the voiceover world, like where should people start, what tools do you need, if you need classes. So we're going to dive into all of that. So guys, make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, follow the station, because this is going to be a good one. The whole other side of the industry. You're our first voiceover. Oh! Yes. So no pressure.
Hey.
So you about to set the bar right now.
Oh goodness. Okay.
So
I can do it.
How did you get into voiceover?
Okay. All right. It's been so long ago. So I was an on-camera actress for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. I was really out there trying to make it, y'all. And I don't even know how to really put it, but like the way that I talk, I guess a lot of producers and directors and things playing different parts, they wanted me to sound different, more urban or ethnic and my little Redondo Beach self did my best. I really did, but somehow they weren't buying it. Wow. So it just wasn't really working for me. So I just decided, you know what? I don't need this aggravation. Yeah. I'm just going to move to, Washington State and...
Oh, so you left LA?
Yeah, I was like, I'm out of here. I don't have to deal with this.
What? So what'd you do in Washington State? You went to college and stuff or what?
No, I got married.
I'm going to be a normal person to get a real life.
Yes, I was like, let me just be normal. Meanwhile, so I live out there in the boonies because I followed my husband we lived in Chelan, Washington. There's like 2 streetlights.
What?
And me from Los Angeles.
2 street lights? I couldn't imagine that.
It's like I was a rock star. Everybody was like, what is it? Where is she from? Does she live here? Is she visiting? So it was really quiet, very different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't really for me. I was driving hours to go to regional theaters and audition because I was just like, I gotta audition.
Gotta do something, yeah.
Like I can't even not.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I think at some point, like Craigslist had like gig auditions.
What?
And they had auditioned for a voice thing. And I was like, oh, great.
Yeah.
I'll just scratch that itch. I will go to an audition and then I'll go back to my life.
Yeah.
So I went and they had like this big theater. There was all these people there.
Yeah.
And they were reading VO scripts like in person. So I didn't know if that was normal or not. I was just like, cool, that sounds like fun. So I did. And then I got a call back and then I ended up booking the job.
Wow.
And it was like a nothing job, but that wasn't the point. The point, it went nowhere. The project, it was just nothing.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun. Yeah. I was doing my Russian accent. I was doing and like they cared. Like nobody on camera really cares if I can do accents besides African maybe, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my goodness, how fun is this, right?
What?
So then I just started, because I had been on camera, so I kind of tried to work it backwards. Like, okay, let me go back to my agents and see. And they all acted like they didn't even know VO. We don't even.
Oh, really? VO wasn't like, voiceover wasn't.
Yeah, it was
they
like.
They weren't really respecting it like that?
I was with whose Talent Works now.
Talent Works, yeah.
I can't even think of his name. Mr. Gold.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, so that's not the way to do it.
No.
So then I was like, well, let me go online and see if there's some groups, some people. And there were a couple of like, I can't think of what they're called. Not groups, but like a forum.
Forum? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right?
Like forums,
So there was one for voiceover people where people were like posting their demos or their little examples. And so I posted one. I basically just sat down and was just like doing voices into a really, really cheap microphone just to get something on there.
Yeah.
And then this woman, Lonnie Manella, she's like prolific in the VO world.
Okay.
She's been doing this. Like if you go on like IMDb, it's like.
What?
So she like messaged me and was like, you know what? I think you have something.
From the forum. She saw you on the forum. What?
And I was like, you think so? She was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. So then she started kind of like taking me under her wing a little bit and like just teaching me like how to do kid voices and how to do video game like emotes and different, you know, like you're getting hit versus hitting somebody else, getting kicked versus, I mean, they get real specific sometimes with video game things like, okay, so somebody is slicing you in the stomach, but it's shallow. Now they're slicing you in the stomach and it's deep. Now
and you gotta hit all of those.
And they don't have time for you to figure it out. You have to just be like, okay.
And just drop right into it. What?
And now the deep one. Oh! You know? Okay, next one.
What?
And so she was teaching me how to do that kind of stuff. So I just kind of got to know her that way.
How did you like, you know, because you said you recorded your own stuff. Did you already have voices on deck, or how did you get your...
I'm just a weird only child, so I've just always kind of had voices on deck, unfortunately. My family can attest that I got it honest. I was just alone a lot. I had to make voices for all the dolls. I can just have 1 or 2 dolls have a voice. They all had to have voices. My mom would be like, who's in there? Like,
what?
Nobody. She'd come in and be like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
It's just me.
Just me. And my 18 voices.
My name's Jessica. I like pudding. I don't like pudding. My name's Joe. My mom was like, what is happening in there? So.
What?
Yeah.
So you got in through a forum, pretty much.
Well, that's how I started just kind of getting some idea of what I needed to even be doing. I didn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So she kind of let me know from her perspective how to get in. You need an agent, or actually you could just do probably better for. She thought it was better for me to just do non-union work because it's just easier to get into and all that. And so I decided that just wasn't the route for me. I wanted to go union. I wanted to get into bigger stuff. Yeah. Everybody kept telling me, you can't do that. You can't just go and like be in animation. Like it doesn't work like that. Yeah. Like you need to go do commercials, maybe. You need to go like voice 1, 2, 3 and like get non-union auditions and kind of build up. You don't just go.
You just don't go and just get the big stuff on Netflix.
Like,
and
but I'm gonna. And they're like, yes, you are. So I scrounged up some money. Meaning I asked my mommy and she gave it to me. And so I made a demo. And then I was shopping it around town. Nobody cared.
Really? What?
No. And like a couple people since have been like, I wish your demo had been better. You're pretty awesome. And I didn't know.
I didn't know.
It's not your fault. It's mine. The demo was, no, I won't say it's crappy. Yeah. I'll say I was a beginner. Yeah. And I really had no business making a demo because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Because just like you're real on camera, it has to be focused on something, some kind of character that you think you're gonna get cast for, not just any old thing. You're gonna be out here doing Prince William just for no reason to be like, because I like it, and that's what I'm doing. That's not.
That's a good one. It has to be like know what you'll be cast for.
And at the time, I didn't know. It was all over the place.
What did you have on there?
I had like a British commercial festival, and there's absolutely no reason I should be doing that. So many British people in this world. What? It's not necessary at all.
That's crazy.
At all.
At all.
And then I think something else, like some like whimsical, the magic of Disney voice. Like when I look back, I'm like, why?
Why?
Like what did I even? Anyway.
Yeah.
So what I started to do, since I couldn't get anybody to pay attention to my demo, I started going to they have these That's VoiceOver like conferences. There's a conference called That's VoiceOver.
That's VoiceOver,
and the Sovas Awards go with it. And these two wonderful people started it. I cannot think of their names right now, which is horrible. But That's VoiceOver started in like 2013 or something.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'm broke, but I'm gonna volunteer. So every year I would go and be like, if I work, can I go to the little shindig, the meet and greet afterwards? And they're like, sure. So I'm like, okay. So that's how I started meeting people.
What? That's smart. So you pretty much were like an intern.
Yeah.
And you put yourself in an environment to do it.
Hello. Ooh. What's this conversation? Hi, remember me from last year? We had drinks at one time. Come on now.
What?
I heard that you are with the new agency now.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you I was voice actress 12 times? Yes. 13th is a charm. Want my demo yet?
You want my demo yet? I'll give it to you.
Yes, Secunda. Please send me your demo on Monday. Because they were just like, okay.
Is that place still around?
Yeah, they actually just had their awards last weekend.
Oh, wow.
I think it's the 5th or, maybe the 10th. I don't know how many years it's been, but Rudy Gaskins and his wife, and they're a black couple who just decided that voiceover people weren't getting the recognition that they deserve. So they started a really big conference that's gotten really bigger every year in New York or LA.
Oh, wow.
And then this award show where they give out awards for, trailers and animation performance and video games. It's really cool.
That's dope.
It's brand new. Most people have not heard of it except all of us that are in the
industry. Yeah, because I haven't heard of it. So that's cool. That's VoiceOver. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's always a good place to go.
Really?
If you don't know anything about anything else,
yeah.
If you can afford to go to That's VoiceOver, even if it's just for one of the days,
yeah.
It happens at the end of the year, like November, December-ish every year.
Okay.
That's always a good place to start. Always, because
really?
You're gonna get information that you're gonna need, and maybe be able to meet people that you need to meet.
So it's like like you said, it's like a conference. Yeah. Is it like kind of like it's an award conference, kind of like a Sunday. What do you compare it to? Like a Comic-Con type of thing, or what would?
No, I don't know what to compare it to, but like there's classes and breakout sessions and then big panels where you can listen to people like Keith David.
Yeah.
He was up there one year talking about his experiences in VO.
What?
I think they were giving him like a lifetime achievement award of some kind or something like that.
Okay, so
So it was
legit
really,
people.
yeah.
So anybody can go to that.
Yes, anybody can go to that's voiceover conference or the awards. I think anybody can go.
Yeah, you just have to pay your admission or whatever. Right. And then you just, okay, cool.
That's always a great place to start.
Guys, if you're listening, that's voiceover.
I mean, you can literally go and just walk up to somebody and be like, I started voiceover today. And they'll be like, oh, really? Everybody, voiceover people are the nicest, most generous.
Wow, that's amazing.
People.
Okay, so that's a gym. That's a gym for people. Yeah. Because I didn't even know about that.
It's a gym.
So when you got in there, so is that how you broke in? Like,
yes.
How did you?
So I ended up, I think it was the third year, I ended up meeting this woman during the meet and greet, and she had just started with CESD.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, well, it just so happens that's one of them on my list. And she was like, oh, because she was just starting and trying to get people.
Get her clients up.
And I think she liked my personality. So I think she kind of took the chance and assumed that I could probably act because I was so like energetic and so like confident. I guess she assumed I probably didn't suck because I was so like, trust me, you're going to love my demo. But I had gotten a new demo by then because the year before that, I had met Chuck Duran, who makes literally, in my estimation, the best VO demos on the face of the planet. I said it. Chuck Duran.
Chuck Duran. Okay.
Him and his girl, they write the copy for you. All you have to do is walk in. Like he talks to you about what your goals are, what age group you're talking about, what you need, helps you figure all that stuff out. Then they write copy, and then they write. Everybody who listens to my commercial demos like, oh my gosh, you're working already? And I was like, why, yes, somewhere. I was working all right.
But it sounds that professional that it sounds like you've been doing.
I'm so bummed that I didn't. Wow. I guess I could pull it on my phone. But
you can send it to me. I can put it up there. Yeah.
So it's great. And so then, and then I had, oh my gosh, okay. So then I had to go into CESD. First, wait for them to call me. And they did. She gave it to them right before Christmas, so I had to wait until after New Year's.
Oh, damn.
That 2 weeks was torture. I was like, Secunda, eat your potatoes and turkey. No, I can't. My whole life hangs in the balance. So I got a call back, and they're like, okay, we want you to come, because most VO places, agents have booths, in the before times.
Yeah.
So I went in, and this guy, the booth director, Steve, who I still love to this day, he handed me some copy, some animation copy, some commercial copy, some promo copy. Wow. And then I just went in there, and he just recorded it and gave me a little bit of direction, like, "Oh, how about we try this? Well, you know what? Let's do that one more time, but try it this way or something." It was he saved my life because he made it. He made me sound so good. Right?
Yeah.
So then at the end, he was like, "Okay, so now you have a minute to just show us what you can do. Okay, go." What? And I was like,
with no like pretty much freestyle in it.
Yes. What? So I was just like, well, I have this accent that I can do, and I'm not sure what else to say about that, so I'm going to move on to something else.
What? It is what? So
like, this is my. I knew when I came in what kind of accent this was, but I'm nervous. So I narrated it just like that. I went through all of my accents. I went through all of my characters. I was like, see, I can be a Disney princess.
In 1 minute.
Yeah. And then I was so embarrassed because I was like, there's got to be a cleverer way.
Yeah. There's got to be another way to do this.
but I couldn't even, my brain just like shut down.
What? It's like, all right, we survival mode now.
I'm like, oh my gosh. So I did that, and then she called me. Her name was Kara. She called me like, I think 3 days later, and she was like, so all of the agents want to meet you, because there was like 6 of them at the time. and you should probably bring your social security card. And I was contracts.
Going down. Contracts, baby, contracts.
And I went in there and talked to them, and they all went around like the promo guy and the animation ladies, and they were kind of just talking about what I saw myself doing. Could I do, we need somebody who can do this. Can you do that? And I said, yeah, I can do that. And they're like, okay, well, let's do this.
What?
So then I had the best freaking agency on the planet. I didn't even know it then, but CESD is the best
VoiceOver
animation agent on the planet.
What?
They're so good. After all these years, like.
You still with them to this day?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're just amazing. Like, they have like really helped my career shape it.
Yeah.
Told me the truth.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to send this. We want you to try that again. That kind of, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Because it reflects on them too. Yeah.
But a lot of people just don't send it and don't tell you anything. We talked about that. So they've been so great. And then, like, you know, some of these big gigs that I've gotten, I swear, they're just because my agents really pushed me. Like, I know you don't know her, but it doesn't matter. Just listen. Just give her a chance.
Wow.
And then when I get my foot in the door, then they're like, you were right.
Yeah.
I mean, not to toot my own horn, but they always say they were right.
How did you start working once you got with CESD?
So,
like, did you take classes?
Well,
like, how did you get?
So I started with commercials, of course, like
commercial voiceover.
Yeah, like commercial, like you know, Cheerios or Tide Pods or whatever. The background person, you know, once they do the on-camera commercial, then there's a person like, oh, Tide Pods or blah 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 blah. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I just wasn't really good at that. I mean, I don't even know if I wasn't good at it. Because I thought I had a really great voice. I was matching the style I was seeing on TV, but it still wasn't clicking. So I just went, I mean, that first couple years, I went to every stinking class I could get my hands on.
Really?
I studied with so many people because I was just like, you available? Great. I'll take it. I put myself on a wait list for Bob Bergen, who's a huge animation guy.
Okay.
And I just went. Were you
getting results from those classes?
Well, I was getting callbacks.
Okay.
I was starting to get some callbacks, but still nothing for commercial. Still.
What?
Commercial has always just been.
So you were doing like animation and stuff like that?
Like I was doing video games.
What?
I booked, my first one was The Division.
Oh, The Division, And Tom Clancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, that was the best experience. I went to Sony.
What?
And like, it was like, oh, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know? And that was the first time I ever had to do this very specific kind of death. Like I remember at the end, they're like, we want to save your voice for the end. But like at the end, they were like, okay, so I want you to imagine that so a fire is starting like inside your body and from the inside out, you're being burned to death. Okay, we need 5 seconds and 7 seconds. Go.
What?
You know, I was like,
and how do you tap it? Do you just like imagine that and then you just do it?
Yeah.
Is there like, what's the process?
It's the same skill as on-camera acting, where you just have to, if that was actually happening to you on camera, all the training, that's the one thing I tell people. It seems so easy, but it is called voice acting for a reason. It is acting too. It's just acting without people being able to see your whole body. You have to make them feel that same thing with your voice, which I think can sometimes be harder.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, I totally have respect for on-camera actors.
Yeah.
So much. Any kind of actor, really.
Yeah.
But sometimes having to really make your voice do all of that work is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. But it's fun.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, what is that like? Like, I mean, doing all those screams.
It's wonderful.
Or like deaths. Like, how do you
I just did a session that I wish I could tell you about for this video game. And it's all like screams and blood curdling and like death rattles. It was the best.
How do you keep like your voice healthy in voiceover? We're doing all of those,
there's classes for that too.
There's what? Classes for that?
There are people who actually make it their business to help voice actors and other kind of actors too keep their vocal health.
So you don't
intact.
you're not straining your voice and all of that.
Well, I mean, you do, but there are definitely ways to minimize the damage.
Minimize the damage.
I know that sounds horrible. But okay. So I had a session. I did ADR. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do. Yeah.
So I did ADR for Elvis.
The movie?
Yes.
What?
So that was a year ago. So we all had our own little booth inside of the studio, so we could all see each other. It was like the Brady Bunch, on Zoom. And I just remember I was so excited because I finally got to work with Barbara Harris, who's like the ADR goddess.
The ADR
right?
goddess.
And she was really, she was the first person I ever heard about and the first person I ever worked with. So I know now that there are many other wonderful ladies too, and men too, other people doing that. But she was the first one I, took a class, and then years later I got to work with her, and I was like,
What?
So I was so excited. I didn't even think about my voice or what was going to happen later in the week. I was just so excited to do that job. I had 2 days on it. We literally screamed bloody murder for 8 hours for 2 days.
What?
I was like,
so what?
I'm so glad I don't have to sing on Friday. Like, oh my gosh.
How do you do that? So what did you do in Elvis? Like,
oh, well, basically, the cues. The cue would be like, okay, so Elvis takes the stage, so we're going to need you guys to scream. I want you to just chase this. It's easy. We're just going to play that, and you guys just scream. See all the ladies screaming? Scream.
What?
And then we would do it. And then they'd be like, okay, so the second cue, he's getting off the stage. Okay, so see how everybody's screaming?
Wow.
Just go scream again.
So
then we did it all together. Like, hold on. Now we need every lady to just our own scream for about 5 seconds. We're just going to get everyone individually so we can just fill in some of those. Like,
what?
I was like, I'll never be the same. My voice will never be the same because I wasn't ready. I was not trained for this. I was not prepared for it. I was like, oh my gosh. I had all these like potions and like teas and lozenges and things that I've had for all these like I worked Blizzard for World of Warcraft and I had to do orcs. And that's not great either, but I have all kinds of, when you go in to do a World of Warcraft session, they have like a whole like bar of like teas and all kinds of stuff. It's awesome. They're always so careful.
So when you do that, like for Elvis, when you did that, so pretty much they would just put your scream over like I saw Elvis and I was like, so the girls that were screaming, they just put like you guys. Yeah,
that was us. We were a big,
What? So it wasn't actually them screaming.
Because I didn't even realize this until I started doing ADR. Really, the extras don't have microphones.
That's true.
So really, we have to do the dialogue replacement because they're over there just kind of.
Yeah, and then they just matching the scream in there. That would be it.
Right, right. I know. ADR is like my favorite thing right now. I just got into it like a year ago, and I'm like in love. It is so much fun.
What?
Yeah.
You did Elvis, and you said you did Woman King?
Yes!
You did Woman King?
Oh, that session was so much fun.
What?
I can totally hear myself when I watch it. I'm like...
Really? So what were you doing in Woman King? Like what?
There's a scene... Gosh. Oh, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, though.
By the time it came out, they should have been seeing it at this point.
Right?
Y'all should have supported the first weekend.
You deserve this spoiler anyway.
Spoiler alert.
That scene where she gets them out of the prison and they go and like just annihilate everybody.
Yeah.
Ooh, we all got certain people to just pretend to be wailing on.
What?
It was so much fun.
What?
Yeah, and like some of their like the scenes where they were like doing their training.
Yeah.
We did some of the voice replacement for some of those scenes, like It was so much fun. It was so much fun. That's
crazy. I'm thinking it's like them, like
that was the best one. Well, some of it is. Yeah. But additional voice replacement, they just put it in where they need to. Yeah. And it's supposed to be seamless. You're not supposed to know.
Yeah.
If you know we did something wrong.
Exactly. True.
Right.
I want to get into like how could people, because this whole podcast is like shining light on like what new actors or actresses or voiceover actresses, like how to break into the industry that you're in. So what advice would you give to someone who's trying to
I know we're just going off on the fun stuff.
Yeah.
But before the fun stuff, there was just me trying to figure out how everybody kept telling me, like, especially animation.
Yeah.
It's such a small little clique of people and they really don't let people in. I've been hearing that for years.
Yeah.
And it was really discouraging. Because I was like, then kind of what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Of trying so hard if there's like this finite amount of people that they take and only keep using them and using them.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been true earlier, but I don't think that's true anymore. I've seen people come in since me who start doing really, really well. And I think the best way to do that is, first of all, you have to get training. You have to train with somebody who knows the business, who knows the trends, who knows not to let you go all super 80s, 90s cartoony, who helps you fit in with what's happening now. That's another thing. You've got to watch cartoons. And I know a lot of adults are like, but I don't want to. Well, you have to.
You got to.
Because you need to know. Because I think a lot of us have this idea in our brains that cartoons are like, cartoons, like when we were kids. And it's just not like that anymore. Like even preschool cartoons are like, hi, I'm a self-possessed 5-year-old. What's going on?
More grounded and more mature.
Like, it's like preschool is fun.
What?
So when I first started, I remember I had an audition for like a preschool teacher, and I was like, "Hi, kids," and my agent's like, "Please stop doing that. Even children don't want to hear that." And I was like, "Oh, all right." So yeah, a lot of your preconceived notions have to fly out the window. And for any kind of acting, especially voice acting, I always say, if you can do anything else, please do that.
Really?
Because, I mean, I feel like my journey's been pretty fast and pretty easy, but that's just because there was no other option for me. Like, this was just the thing I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And every day I was working towards that. If it was going to be 2 decades, if it was going to be 10, if it was going to be 1 day, I wasn't going to stop.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even
You just did it. You was like, it was no backup plan. Like,
but
I'm all in.
Right. So
it's like acting. You can't,
exactly.
It's like, yo, if you could choose any other career, do
Please
that. Don't try to pursue acting.
Right.
Like,
so that's the first thing.
Okay.
Do not think voiceover. You do voiceover because you love it, because you love using your voice, because you're a weirdo like me and you have a bunch of obscure accents that you can't ever use and you can use them here. And that's exciting, right?
Yeah.
But if you just want to make easy money or, she's just talking, you're gonna be really sad. You're gonna get your feelings hurt all the time, okay? Because it's work. So first of all, teacher. That's the most important thing.
Teacher.
I was kind of banging my head against the wall for a couple years, getting really big callbacks for like pilots and for animated shows, Disney and stuff, but I wasn't booking anything. And I think my problem was I kept going to the workshops where you meet the casting person, not the real ones where you learn. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're more so meeting them, but they're not actually critiquing you and
they
teaching
are
you.
critiquing you.
They're not
but
giving you like
not
gems to really make you a better
and
artist.
some of them do. I mean, there are, as you know, even on camera, like there are some that really do. They really get into actually helping actors, and then there's some that just want to see.
Yeah.
Oh, you're new. Come in, let me see what you can do. And so I wanted like a twofer because I was really poor. So I was trying to get a little bit of coaching and a little bit of like, can I just meet these people? Which backfired on me so bad because there was this huge casting director who still to this day I've never heard from. She has never called me back on one of her projects because I did that. I was trying to learn when I met her. And that's not what we were trying. She was trying. So she was like, oh, because I was like, let me take a chance. This is acting class. It wasn't.
It was?
She was like, oh.
I said, okay.
And like, I had there were 2 people teaching the class. And the first class, the guy was like, hey, that was great. But that was a little safe. That sounds like it's pretty close to your own personality. Now tomorrow, I want you to really put yourself out there. And I was like, okay. And then she went, oh. All right, next. And I was like, oh. No. And it's been years. I've still not heard from this woman. She will not call me for anything. Whenever I see her name, I'm like, should I even audition? This woman has in her head that I'm a hack, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I tried that first, and then I started backtracking. Like, okay, because I thought I'm an on-camera actress. Yeah. I've had acting training. Yeah. I know how to do this. Yeah. All I need to do is get my foot in the door. Right? That's all I need to do. Yeah. That's why I kept doing that, going to casting director workshops instead of just learning. Yeah. Because I was like, I don't need to learn how to act.
You already know.
I know. But voiceover is it's a very different animal.
So
it's the same basics.
Yeah.
But then there's some techniques that you just need to know in order to function.
And what would those techniques be?
Like, okay, acting. Mm-hmm. You got to start with acting if you're VO or on camera. Okay. So the first thing you need to do if you want to be a VO person is get acting coaching. Now, if you already have that, if you already have that acting training, then you're off to a great start. And now you can go to a VO coach who can now teach you how far do you need to be from the mic, right? Are you popping peas? Is there like some sibilance in your voice that you don't even hear? Yeah. Or like there'll be mouth noise that you don't hear? Yeah. That's very distracting when it's just somebody listening to you talk. Like, what do you want? Do you want to? No, you don't want to. I don't want to do nothing with you. Go away.
So little stuff like that can mess up your.
You can't even. You don't even. If you don't even. Yeah. You would never even. So that kind of stuff, and also, I think sometimes, just because I think with on camera acting, it's so at least as I think. Yeah. It's so mellow, not easy, but mellow and easy. I mean, like you're a real person. Yeah. In real time. Yeah. Just being a dude or whatever. Yeah. And animation, even though it's more realistic, I'm still a butterfly. Yeah. Who's talking to people? Like you can't be quite as just chill, nonchalant about it. Yeah. Wow, I'm a duck who grants wishes. Like there has to be some kind of fun and quirk going on.
Yeah. So you find that in this stuff.
Yes.
What?
Because you see people in class, like there's on-camera actors who are just like, hello, I'm a duck. I have 3 wishes to grant you. And you're like, that is awesome, but boring. Like, this is a cartoon still. Yeah. And then there's people who, like, come from radio, like, hey, I'm a duck. I got 3 wishes for you. And they're like, okay. And that's not going to work either.
So you have to find that happy medium in there. What?
Yeah. And again, like, the microphone. Yeah. Like, some people are eating it up. And some people are like, so.
Too far.
Like, you got to kind of know that kind of stuff.
So the classes teach you all of that?
Yes.
Okay. And then
the beginning classes teach you all of that. So the acting classes teach you how to
act,
be a character, be in that space.
Yeah.
The beginning VO classes teach you how far to keep your mic from your face, right? And how to emote in different ways that you don't think of when you're doing it with your body. Yeah. So there are certain things you got to do with your face and your mouth because nobody sees you, right? Yeah. So if you're telling somebody you're getting through a tight spot, right? You have to make it sound like that. And then I just did what I always do. What? I get into it and then I'm over here and they're like, Secunda, that's great. It's brilliant. But can you do it toward the mic? That's always going to be a problem for me. Because I always I'm all over the place. Right? Oh, that's the microphone, right.
To start in voiceover, just get training, or is there anything else that...
Well, first, you have to get training. Yeah. But everybody keeps telling you that... Everybody will tell you need a demo. Yeah. And I'm telling you that you do not need a demo until you have the training to be able to compete. Because what's the point? People don't think about, I feel like most people don't think about the end goal of a demo. Yeah. The end goal of a demo is to get you in front of somebody and then for you to be able to match that in the room or on the Zoom or now we're in the So making a great demo that's produced by somebody and costs a lot and makes you sound amazing, and you had to do 12 takes to get it there. I know it sounds like it doesn't matter, but it does. It does matter, because everything on that demo has to be reproducible when you walk in the room in literally 30 seconds after you looked at the copy. And if you can't do that, then there's no point in having a $3,000 beautiful produced demo if you can't really come with the goods when you get in the room, because you're not going to get any work that way.
Wow.
That's just the truth. And I know because I was there. Yeah. I made an ill-timed demo myself. Yeah. Okay? So I know, because I'm like, I'm an actress. I'll wing it.
So training is obviously first, like the most important. That's where you should start. Don't even try to get it real until you get enough training before you put that on wax.
1,000%.
So say you get the training, right? You get the training, you train, you feel like confident, you have a good amount of voices, your little quirks and what not to do. You get your reel. Then what? Are there like sites that, like, opposed to like LA Cast? Are there special ones for voiceover, or like what's the route for a voiceover artist?
I did my commercial demo first, a good one with Chuck Duran, right?
Yeah.
So that got me into my agency. Okay. And then, like I said, I don't do things the right way. Mm-hmm. So my commercial demo was the only one that I had. Okay. But I was doing a lot of workshops and stuff to try to get better at animation. Yeah. So I think my agent noticed that my few and far between animation auditions were getting better. And they're like, oh, well, we're going to need you to give us an animation demo that we can shop around. And I was like, but I'm still broke. Yeah. So, right. And everybody said, and by this time I did have a nice setup. Huh. I had equipment that I could use to record my auditions and stuff that were pretty, almost like broadcast quality-ish, but pretty good. Yeah, yeah. And so, but I did have a booth. Okay. And my husband built it. Oh, wow.
So you had all of the stuff.
I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah, my husband built it. Like I never would have had one without that. So I don't, I can't even help people with that. That's just, booths are just expensive, and that's just it.
Yeah, yeah. But you had that, so you had all of the stuff, and then.
So I was because everybody's like, you can't make your own demo. That's so amateur. Everybody's gonna not like it. Everybody's gonna see you as an amateur or think you're not serious, or it's just not, sound quality's not gonna be great. So. I did it anyway, because I was like, I don't really. Yeah. My agent's asking for it, and I got to do it. So I really, again, I did the 1 minute thing. I took a page out of that book, and I just sat down and just started ad-libbing characters
with no copy.
Yeah, because I'm not really a writer. So I was like, what am I gonna do? Sit down and write what?
Yeah. I'm just going how I feel.
Let's see. So I'm like. Ginevra!
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Ginevra? Haven't I told you what to do, Ginevra? And then I was like, oh, I got an atomic wedgie! Oh! And so I just did a bunch of stuff that made me laugh. Yeah. And then I got this guy to put some like music behind it to kind of make it sound like maybe it was part of something. Yeah. And my agent was like, this is perfect! And I was like, phew. Now, boys and girls, I would not recommend this. Yeah. Okay, everybody says don't do it, but I ain't got no sense. Yeah. So I did it, and then I got a booking from it right away, because I had an African thing on there, and I got a call for Archer. It was they needed a South African or something, and I was like, oh. So I had a bunch of accents on there, so. My agent started sending me out it was just so good. Like, because I put on stuff on there that I could do really well. Yeah. And then they started sending me stuff for like little boys and for like teenage boys and for like, younger girls and for like, old British ladies. Yeah. And I was like,
are there like certain voices that you should have? Like when you're, being a voice, are there like, like the basics that every voiceover artist should have in their back pocket, like a kid? Or...
Honestly, I think. Well, okay, so back to what I was saying about training. Mm-hmm. The beginning training's really important, but once you have that down, because even after that, I still wasn't working. I was just like, okay, I'm getting better. I'm getting more callbacks. I'm not having my agent call me and say, can we redo this?
Yeah.
So it was a win.
That's a win. Yeah,
you know?
Still progress.
And I'm not going to get dumped by my agent this year.
Yeah.
So that's the first goal.
Not to get dropped.
Right? So then after that, I was like, okay, now I feel like I can have more fun. So then I went to a bunch of other, Bob Bergen and Charlie Adler and people who are just these huge people in the industry who teach classes. Thank the Lord, baby Jesus, because they're amazing and they work a lot, but they still take the time to do that. And I'm just so grateful that they do. And like, I'm serious. Charlie Adler's class changed my whole life.
Charlie Adler.
Yeah, changed my life.
What about it stuck out?
Because first of all, I didn't want to take his classes for a couple years because I heard he was really mean. And I was scared of that. I don't like mean authority figures who are mean scare me. I don't like it. And they're like, he yells at people, he cusses at people. I'm like, what? Yeah. So then when I get there, of course, he's just a character. He just says whatever he wants to say, but he's very kind. Yeah. He's not like screaming at everybody. But if you do something wrong, he's going to tell you. Yeah. Like, why did you do that? You know that's not it. Start again, you know? Yeah. He's like, all right, there's no bullshit. So I like that kind of person. Okay. And he just, like, some of the things that he said, and I hate to repeat them because I want people to take his class, but one of the things he said was like, you look at the specs and there's just so much. Sometimes for video games especially, there's like 2 pages of specs.
Yeah. What are specs?
Oh, specs are like the description of the person.
Got you. Okay.
And instead of like, oh, this is the kind of voice they have, or this is where the accent we need, or it's like, he was born a poor black child. And they give his whole life story and how, and then it's like, there's like 4 lines. And you're like,
supposed to get all that into these 4 lines.
But that's intimidating. Yeah. It's like, you don't even know where to start with that.
Yeah.
You know? Or even like, even if the specs, the direct, like the specs aren't that long. Yeah. Sometimes they're contradictory. Mm-hmm. Like he's mellow but energetic. Like,
it's like,
all right.
How the fuck I do that?
You know? So he taught us to, yes, you have to, I understand that you want to respect the specs. Yeah. But F the specs. You need to read. You read English. Yeah. You'll read it and you'll see what's funny.
Yeah.
Right? Are you an actor or aren't you? Yeah. He needs somebody to make you a freaking drawing. You can read the jokes for yourself, can't you? I'm like, and it's so ridiculous. But we were all like, oh, like he gave us permission to be like, oh, I bet. Like it matters what we think. Yeah. He's like, yes. What? Yes, dopes. It matters what you think. You're here. You're with your agent because you're funny or you're something. So show us that instead of trying to like chase the whatever direction. You know.
Yeah. So that's what stuck out the most to you.
Changed my entire life.
Really?
Because I started booking after I took that. Because then I started having fun again instead of like I need to pay my rent. He's like. You're never, ever, 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 ever going to book anything. And that's on camera too. Yeah. You're never going to book nothing with that kind of energy.
Oh, no, hell no. No, you can't be desperate.
But we all, you know, sometimes it's hard. Yeah. Like the rent is due.
Yeah.
And you're like,
right now, it's like,
it would be so nice to get this part. But that energy is never going to serve you. So.
Wow. But are there sites? Can you self-submit yourself or like? How?
There are some, but I guess I have kind of mixed feelings about them at this point. So I used Voice 123.
Voice 123.
And it was Voice 123 and Voice, can't remember the other one. When I did it, it was like somebody posted and they would say, okay, this job is $500 and it's this long and this is how we're going to use it. Yeah. And you could decide if that was a good rate for you or not. Or you could go back to them and say, well, I think, you know, I would need this amount. Yeah. And then sometimes they would negotiate and sometimes they wouldn't. Yeah. But if you book the job, then the voices 123, they put the money in like an escrow account. So it's there. So they can't just not give you your money, which was so great. Wow. But then I guess that was like 5 or 6 years ago. And now I've heard people saying that their experience is just been different.
With Voice 123.
Like, yeah, like the money situation was a little bit sketchy. I don't know. I don't want to put them down because I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot of people saying that they don't want to use that anymore. So I can't really speak to that because I haven't been doing it for a while.
You said that's the only one, or the other ones?
No, there's a
out
couple.
There? Like
there's a
reputable
few
ones, like how like actors. It's like Actors Access, LA Casting, Casting Frontier.
Yeah, I don't know that there are any ones that are that well known or reputable in the VO community. Okay. I don't think it's the same.
The same. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was curious. Do you self-submit, or like how do you
like?
go
I don't
about...
think people from Disney are going to go to Voices 123 to cast somebody.
Oh no. But even like self-submit, like non-union stuff, like even for people just to get reps in and to get something on their reel.
Yeah.
Like, probably like the mom and pop shop around the corner, or like the grocery store, or something local. They put their stuff on these sites or whatever. Is there something like that?
Voices 123.
Voices 123.
But I've just heard some things about them, so I'm honestly not sure.
Okay.
I hate to say that.
Proceed with caution.
Because it really worked for me, but it seems like they've changed their business model and stuff. So I wish I knew. I didn't even think about getting that information before I came. Wow. Duh. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I'm like, I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah. Like, what about like when you have auditions? So like, say you did your training, you did everything, you have everything set. What equipment do you need in your house to submit for these projects?
Okay.
Are there certain microphones that you should use? Can you just record it straight into your iPhone on the voice memo thing? Like, what are the do's and don'ts of like recording an audition for voiceover?
I think if you really want to be taken seriously, you got to invest in some decent equipment. Now, I am not the person to talk to about the equipment side because I've always been pretty lucky. Like, my husband can make me a booth, and I've been able to afford some, a good mic. And a decent interface and all that. I always have been able to. Yeah. And I've always had my husband around to kind of deal with all that stuff for me.
Gotcha.
So
what mic do you use? Do you know what the name
Sennheiser
of it?
416.
Sennheiser 416.
It's $1,000.
Okay.
But I use it for everything. And everybody loves it.
Really?
My work on that mic has been on TV numerous times.
When you record that, is that what is seen on TV?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to go into an actual booth anymore.
Well, we've started going back into the booth just because it's a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah.
For me and for the engineers at the audio place, because I'm always like, can you just like take over my screen and do it for me? Because the idea of having to deal with that while I'm trying to do my performance, for me, so hard.
With the screen? What do you mean with the screen?
Like, okay, so my microphone goes into this interface.
Okay.
And then on the screen, and I have Pro Tools also.
Pro Tools,
and so you can see the WAV file. You can see your voice going up and down.
Yeah.
You can... Oh, gosh, I'm like the wrong person to talk to about this.
But the technical...
The point is, the technical stuff.
Yeah.
It was really hard for me during 2020.
Yeah.
Woo! So a lot of the wonderful engineers at, Out Loud and Soundworks and these places where they record amazing shows and movies and things, they would just use Zoom to share the screen, and they would just do it. Okay. So stuff like that, they just be able to, all right, take all the technical stuff out of my hands. So I don't have to worry about doing the performance. Yes.
But Pro Tools, because that was my other question. Is there certain interfaces that you have to use? Like, is GarageBand usable, or like you said, Pro Tools, but are there certain ones where it's like, no, you guys should use this because you get the best quality out of your microphone? Or
again, I just use the best stuff because I can afford to, and because it just makes my life easier. But I know that there are people that they don't have a Sennheiser yet, and they don't have the interface I do. They don't have Pro Tools yet, and they do just fine. But I'm just not the right person to talk to about that.
Well, was that the case for you when you first started, before you had the money to be able to afford that?
Well, before that, I just went into the studio because it was the before times.
Because your agent had that.
And there were places I could either go to my agent because I lived in the Valley, but they're on Santa Monica. So I would either go in there to do it for free, or there are all these places around Burbank where you can go in and pay 10, 15, 20 bucks to just do a 10-minute audition and go.
So you have to worry about this.
So I didn't even have a setup until like April 2020 because I was doing Mercat for Gabby's DollHouse and I was like, I'm going to get fired. because I can't come in the studio. I can't record home. And everybody was like hunkering down in their like closet with like moving things and trying to get the best mic they could. It was like the Wild West out here. We're like, don't fire me.
Wow. So you had to just get. So you got it.
Yeah, but we were all. I'm telling you, people were making like forts and like tents and like trying to figure it out because.
So like that,
working.
Yeah, you gotta stay working. You gotta have like your own setup, like how we have to do with auditioning. You have to have a backdrop and a ring light and all that stuff. So you have to do what you gotta do. Yeah.
So especially now, because I don't know before times, did you have to do self tapes all the time?
Here and there, you still had to do them. So it was still, people still had some. I still had a self tape setup back then.
With VO, it was like. You could go to the place, or you could go to your agent, or they call you into the place, Nickelodeon or wherever.
Yeah.
So I didn't really need. After I started working union stuff, I never really needed a setup until
the
apocalypse.
So I want to touch on because we talked about this off camera, like how to go about doing a voiceover audition.
Yes.
So, like the difference too, because I want to know, because you said some stuff that I was not privy to. So when you get, say you get the commercial copy, the copy for the voiceover, and it's like for a TV show or something, and it has the character that you're reading for. My name is, Steven.
Right.
But the scene has Steven and Jonathan and Jessica in the scene, and it has a whole scene with these three characters. Do you do all three characters, or you just do Steven, the one that you were called in for?
So they're gonna tell you what. Well, okay. Usually, they're gonna tell you, "Hey, we want you to audition for all three, or we really just want you to do one." Some people don't really listen to that, and they just do whatever they want. Like, I'm doing all three every time, and that's it, But typically, you have to send them all on separate files. So you have to read Steven. And then save all that and send it to them as an MP3. You have to do the other guy, save all that and send them. So, So with a lot of VO, like on camera, ooh, did you hear that mouth noise? That was not cute. That was not cute at all. Oh my gosh. Right. So you usually have a reader.
And, for
camera.
For all camera. Yeah. We
don't. That is very, very exceedingly rare. Right. You go in and there's a whole scene where you're just like, what? What did you say? How dare you talk to me like that? You have to do it by yourself.
You got to do the whole scene.
You got to hear the other things in your head. You have to be a crazy person. Yes.
What?
You have to hear it and spit it out as if. I think that's what separates people. A lot of people that work from people that don't.
Yeah.
Because reading the lines, it's so easy to fall into that, like, I'm just going to read the lines like a quirky thing.
Yeah.
See? I'm a voice actor. I'm doing a quirky line.
Yeah.
And instead of like, really, yes, it's a duck that grants wishes named Steven, but Steven is still responding to somebody.
Yeah.
And because I've seen people, like I've done a couple of workshops, which is so fun. I hope to do more of it. But like somebody's reading the line and they'll just be like, oh, I'm so sure. And you're like, did you read the line before that? No. Read it now. Oh, he's not being sarcastic. No. Oh, well, I'm so sure. Like, you don't get that unless you are acting off of the imaginary person who's talking to you. So we were talking about this earlier because I'm like, a lot of friends I have who are on camera people who are amazing, who work a lot.
Yeah.
get handed a script with a scene, but it's cartoons, and they just forget all their chops.
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed to read the other person? Like, yes.
Yeah. Oh, but you mean react. So now that's clarity.
That's what I meant.
I thought you meant like actually read it.
No.
On the audition.
I meant, when I say read, because in my head, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Because I have to read the other person, then react.
Yeah. So how the person you hide.
And when my read was, did you see it?
Yeah.
Because the people I'm talking about hadn't even seen that there was something else said before what they said.
Yeah. Okay, no, I see that.
Yes.
Okay, I was doing that. I thought it was something different.
No, I'm glad to hear you say that.
I thought you meant like actually like reading both characters.
No.
That's what I was like. Oh yeah, I was definitely doing that.
No, react. I used the wrong word. But yeah. That's...
Okay. So what would be like some good, like tips for actors who get voiceover auditions?
First of all, make sure that you read the entire piece of copy.
Okay.
The entire thing. Read everybody's lines.
Yeah.
Read the directions, or what do you call them? Stage direction, or the directions that tell you
actions and stuff.
What's happening.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people end up missing, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened,
Yeah.
But then it says like she's being hit in the head while she says that. So everybody who comes in there talking about, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened, there's like next.
Yeah.
And when somebody's like, ow, I can't believe, and they're like, oh, and that's such a small thing.
Yeah, but it adds so much.
But it sets you apart because most people just don't even do it.
Yeah.
They're just so focused on cute little voices.
Yeah.
When I was cute, they're going to hire me?
That's the most common misconception with like the voiceover world is
Yes.
just like, you just do voices and
Right.
cool voices or not, but not really acting.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when people ask me about it, they're like, I can do a lot of different, like I can do a lot of, what do you call it? Like, not imitations. What's the word I'm looking for?
Impressions?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
but
it's like you ain't doing anything.
It's cool. It's a very cool talent. Like they have their voiceover people that are so good at it. Who like there's this thing at LA Comic Con called Voice NATO every year. Crazy. We're like they are just just look it up.
Okay.
Voice NATO.
Voice NATO.
It's on YouTube. LA Comic Con every year, and those people are amazing. Okay,
yeah.
And I think they use that in their work sometimes because there is a thing called voice matching, but that's completely different than doing funny impressions.
You know
what I mean?
You just do different voices, but
yeah, because you have to think about it. Like, there's a guy who does Donald Duck.
Yeah. So yeah, you doing that.
Like my friend Daniel Ross, he just won an Emmy for doing Donald Duck for years.
Damn.
Like Daniel Ross wasn't giving up that gig because you're good at it too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you got to find something else to do.
So how do you do that? Like, how do you do that? It's like you have to like find, like, do you find unique voices specific to you? Like, how do you get your bag of tricks for voices?
This is one thing I will say for me. Mm-hmm. Now I'm telling you, there are many people who will not agree with me on this. Huh. But for me, when I started with my bag of tricks, I didn't book very much because I was starting with my bag of tricks instead of starting with the character. Instead of starting with just like on camera, you got to start with who that person is, what they're about, why are they even talking about this, where'd they come from, where are they going, all of the same stuff that on camera people have to do.
Yeah,
that's what gets people hired. I don't get hired because I have the cutest voice in the room, although. But no, it's not that. It's not that. It's because I embody a character. Like I often tell people that we get really bogged down, especially in VO, because you're on the thing and if you hear a pee pop or something, you're like, oh, I gotta start all over.
Yeah.
And you don't, because VO audition, especially the first one, especially for like a series kind of character, a lead, they want to hear you embody that character. They want to imagine that the people are going to want to hear that character week after week after week. It's not about how cute your voice can be.
Yeah.
Once I finally got that, I started booking. Because I think the voice comes from that place. Like Mercat. She's like a prissy little girl. She loves, lotions and potions. And see, that voice just comes because I'm just
really you're really thinking about it.
I like makeup nails. So it's not like, let me think of the voice for her first. I'm gonna be Mercat because she's so cute. Then I go into the lines like, reading the lines like cutesy poopy poo. And then they would have been like, next.
But really being in it, really immersing yourself in that character rather than doing what you think that character would sound like.
And that, I'm telling you, that has been the secret to my success is that I like, oh, that's right. I'm an actress first.
Yeah. You have to get the character. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I know. But it's you know, you have this cute little purple and pink and blue mermaid fish and we just lose our minds. Like, this is so cute. But in her little world, she's got her own stuff going on. Her life matters to her for real.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's silly, ridiculous things, that little character's whatever their fear is, whatever's happening around them is so ridiculous and funny to us, but to them, it's real. It's happening right now. And once I think people really get that, then voiceover is not easy, but it's a heck of a lot more fun. And I think you have a better chance of booking by looking at it that way than this whole, like, let me look at this thing and see what kind of voice I can make for it.
Yeah.
That's really just not the way. I know it seems counterintuitive because it just seems like so much fun to just
go in
say silly things.
Yeah.
But
So it's really embodying that.
So that's what I meant when I was saying reading the other thing. I didn't mean read, but I just meant like people really just want to be so cute that just keep reading their own lines. And it's like, what's happening in the scene? Like, I don't know. You have to know.
No, you got to know what's going on so you can know how to react in each. Okay.
But I'm telling you, a lot of people, it's amazing to me how many talented actors completely miss that point when they get a piece of animation copy in front of their face.
So what's the difference? Like, because do you need to have 3 different reels for voiceover or a reel for each side? Like you said, you had an animation one and then there's a commercial one. Is there like a, video game one? Like, what are the tiers?
I would say, a lot of people have an animation, or I think it was called interactive. So maybe interactive. Okay. So it's like video games and, I don't know, an interactive demo. I've never had one, but a lot of people have it.
Okay.
And commercial always, because that's always first.
Always have a commercial one, okay.
And then animation. Oh, and then there's people who are doing anime. There are people who are super famous. They make so much money. They have so many fans because they do anime.
The anime voiceover.
Yeah. Like I think it's usually dubbing from Japanese or Chinese.
Oh yeah.
But not always. Yeah. Sometimes So
a commercial one is the one that you need, like, first off.
And again, that's what I've always been told.
Yeah.
I never do anything the right way either. So I don't think anything is set in stone.
Yeah.
It's like there's always rules for how you should be getting into something.
Yeah.
Entertainment wise, but everybody has everybody has their own
their own way of approaching
story about how they actually did it.
Yeah.
So,
and then how does that work? Like, as far as like pay for voiceover actors, is there like commercials? We do a commercial, then we get residuals for every time that commercial airs. So like, I do a commercial for
it's
Verizon.
The same. It's SAG. It's after. It's the scale.
Okay.
Yeah, there's scale for every cartoon that I do. There's a scale that I get every day.
So every time it runs, or like,
I actually don't. I don't know much about on-camera residuals either. I just know that we get them. I don't know exactly what they're based on. I think it's probably about the same. It's like based on where they run and how. And
for commercial or for TV?
Residual for TV for animation. For commercials, it's the same. It's like the 8-week or whatever.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the same
That's
thing.
why I was curious. It's like, is it different because you're not seen, but it's like you're
it's
the
less
prominent
money,
voice.
but it is the same sort of the system. But then there's also like, I know, like some commercials will do like after rates, like LA rates or New York rates. So I honestly don't know much about that either. Because I know nothing about commercials.
Yeah. You've done a lot of stuff with like Netflix and like DreamWorks and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it like once you're in that, once you do one show with them, they shop you around to do other ones? Because you got a lot of Netflix on your resume.
Well,
so how did you like?
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, I think it's like any other acting gig. Once you work with an on-camera director, don't you hope. You can't really.
Yeah.
You want him to.
Yeah.
You know, some people work again, some people don't.
Yeah,
It's just kind of like those, because that's all about the relationships that you make and the connections that you make. Because another thing I will say about any kind of actor, right?
Yeah.
You also have to be the kind of person they want to spend hours with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just about your performance either.
Yeah.
Because all things being equal, there's a lot of people in SAG who can do the same voice I can do, or do the same kind of wonderful character I can do, or do the same guy that you can do on whatever show you're doing.
Yeah.
But they like you too.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good one, because you have to be, you know.
It's the same. I remember I had, I worked with, I shouldn't tell this story because she's going to be like, that's me. Well, the bottom line is I've worked with some people who, back in the before times when we had group sessions, which were so much fun. You're just on the mic with people just cutting up. It's great.
Yeah.
But we walked in. I've had a couple of things like this happen where you just go in and somebody's in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And like the people behind the glass are like, hey, what's up? And the person's like, ugh, traffic, you know? And I'm like,
what?
I could never, I would never. I don't even care what just happened to me. I could never and would never walk into a session like you walk on set and just be like, ugh, my life sucks. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, they pretend to. They'll listen to you, but they won't work. They won't call you again.
Yeah.
On the shows where I'm the lead, like, we spend a lot of time with each other.
Really?
There's a lot of scripts to get through. We have, there's technical difficulties. How are you going to handle that?
Yeah.
All that, like if they have to cancel on me suddenly or something happens and then we can't continue a session, am I going to be like, I don't have time for this. I'm going to be like, oh, cool. It happens.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah.
But not everybody's like that. I know it probably sounds weird to you because you're a wonderful human, but not everybody is like that.
Wow.
And they really like working with people, just like we do. We like working with people.
Who you want to be around.
Right.
You gotta be there.
It's the same thing with this, especially like on Zoom. It doesn't seem like it's that important, but it is. We're still talking. We're still
interacting. Yeah. Hey.
I know.
Okay. So for, I mean, you touched on it, but what, I guess, aside from the training, is there any other practical tips that people can apply to get into the VO world? Like you said, the seminars. Are there other ways? Like,
well, that's the one that worked for me. So that's the one that I advocate. Like going to those, like there's the VO Atlanta. There's like a lot of these sort of workshops where just a lot of people from the VO industry go.
Yeah.
And
so which one you said? The voice.
That's VoiceOver, and then there's VO Atlanta every year.
Atlanta, okay.
And I know there are other ones, but I don't go to them.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of my peers go every year to a couple different places.
Yeah.
Where they're like speakers and stuff now. But those are the only two I can think of offhand.
Okay.
But if you go online and look up like voiceover workshops, something like that. And then there's going to be a lot of different people. But if you look up the person's name on like IMDb, you can see the work that they've done.
Yeah.
You can see that this is a person who's been working since the 90s.
Yeah.
Or it's a person who has 0 credits, who's like 3 million on IMDb. We're like, okay, I'm not taking classes from somebody who hasn't had a job since 1998. I don't care how good a teacher you are. I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. You gotta be relevant. You gotta have credits.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sure there are some teachers who just teach, but to me, I seem to get the most from people who are working. And because they're right in the thick of it. They're auditioning every day. They're getting callbacks. They're not getting jobs. They're in the same sort of headspace that we're in.
Yeah, it's more relatable.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me what it's like to be on set if you've never been on set. Like,
exactly.
You're not going to know the things that I'm going to run into.
Exactly.
You're just talking from behind the scenes.
So another very practical thing, like what I said, I touched on it earlier, but I used to, I would take like an hour to do an audition. The scene was like 2 pages.
What?
And I would just be like, oh, wait, no, that where wasn't good enough. Oh, that the was weird. Wait, no.
Wow.
I would chop my stuff up so much
that
it was unrecognizable. Then I would be like, yes, this is it, and then send it in. And then the first time I got cast, I was like, oh no. I have no idea how to recreate this character at all.
What? Because you gotta be able to recreate.
Don't do what I did.
You have to recreate whatever you do.
Yeah. So even auditions, I know, especially when you're starting, it is so tempting to want to just chop it up and take this take and this take and this take. But honestly, if you can't just read it from start to finish, with spaces, you know, for you to look at the other lines and for you to see what's going on.
Yeah.
But that take that you send in should be a take. So that when you get in that room, you can do that same take in the room. I have been in that position. I faked it till I made it, but it was very uncomfortable. So you don't want
you got to be able to do it. You got to be able to recreate it. Yeah.
Because I think we focus so much in the beginning on getting in the room. Then when you get in the room, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Right. What do I do in here now?
Yeah. So, what about getting an agent?
Oh.
What's the best way to go about getting a voiceover agent?
Again, I think the right way is to get your demo all together with your coach, and you decide that this is the best time for you, and then you go to Chuck Duran and you get a kick-ass demo, and then you send it around to people's emails that you find. And but that doesn't really work in VO. I don't. Does that work on camera? I don't even know.
Sometimes you gotta get creative. Sometimes, yeah, you gotta. Yeah, it doesn't.
So with VO, it seems that it's really better to get a referral from someone that you know, who can say, "Oh yeah, you're amazing. I'll tell my agent about you." That seems to be the best way, as far as I know, to get an agent, to get access to agents.
Yeah.
I don't suggest stalking them at home, but I do suggest going to these places where they are.
Yeah.
Like if they're teaching workshops or they're talking somewhere, go to that place.
Yeah, put yourself in.
Go to that place.
Yeah.
And just be like, hi. I'm only here because I wanted to meet you.
Yeah,
I paid a lot of money just to be here meet you. Literally, I have no game. That's what I would actually say to people.
Yeah.
Like, I just scraped my pennies and here I am. Because I think you're amazing and here's why. And it worked.
Yeah.
They'd be like, send me your demo on Monday.
Yeah.
I don't care if they sound tired. They're going to listen to it. That's all it matters. So for me, that was the best way. But also, but then I don't want people to make the mistake of asking people they barely know for referrals. Please don't do that.
Oh yeah, no, hell no, that's not gonna work.
Okay, so I hope everybody, even VO, it's the same situation.
Nah,
you're not just like Secunda.
Yeah.
We just met, but listen.
Yeah.
Like, please don't do that to people.
Plug me in. Yeah, no.
Like, don't do it to Rickey. Don't do it to nobody. It's a horrible place to put somebody in.
Yeah.
I have found that if you know somebody well enough that they know that you have a demo and they think you're talented, they'll ask you.
Yeah.
They're gonna suggest it. I promise, because I always do.
Yeah.
You don't have to bombard me.
Yeah.
If I am in the place where I think that my agent needs you, I'm definitely going to put you in there. I know that also right now, they are really trying, I feel like, to get more voices of color involved in VO.
Oh, really?
This is a really good time for people of color
to
get in. Like as a person of color right now, you could probably just send your demo cold, and if it's good, somebody's probably gonna call you. That's just
what it is.
That's just how it is right now.
What about like submitting through your, like, say you get an audition when you're out, you know, maybe you're on set, maybe you're doing something, and you get an audition. Is it okay to do it on your phone? Can you do it on your phone? Is it? Do you need always, every time you do an audition, it has to be that professional setup?
That can't be true, because I mean there are too many people like you who do on camera also. You know what I mean? Because not everybody's like me. I only do VO. A lot of people do a lot of things. Everybody's trying to diversify, do whatever they can.
Exactly.
So I think that they know that.
Okay.
So I think that for the most part, if you typically do it the way you're supposed to, if you're on the set doing a commercial shoot or something, they're not going to be like, well, forget it. Yeah. But also when those times come, you just have to remember all the same stuff. And even though it's your iPhone or whatever, you got to make them listen to that iPhone and be like, okay, we need to get her on some real equipment. This was amazing. Even though you got to break through that. Because I think casting directors, I think always on camera too. They're always more help to us than we think they are. We think they're the enemy, like, oh, they're the gatekeepers.
No, they're on your side.
Yeah, and that's I think a lot of people have the idea with VO that it's such a closed little thing that the casting directors don't really care anyway. They're looking for reasons not to, and that's just not true. It's not true at all. They're looking for reasons to hire new people. They're always. So if you're on set or something and you have your little iPhone and you did a damn good, hysterical, fun, real read for this character, they are gonna call you for the callback. D. Bradley Baker. Mm-hmm. He's a voice actor. A very good one. And he has, if you Google him and just put like D. Bradley Baker, like beginning voiceover or something, he has a whole like thing he like wrote down about how to do it, what you need to start, what you don't need to worry about, how to get, I mean, it's the best thing I've seen.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And he has a website, but I don't know exactly what it is. But if you Google D. Bradley Baker, you'll be able to find it.
Okay, so that's a good thing. That's why I would give everybody like the game on like, because I don't even know how
because he has lists and things of different.
Oh really?
Yes. So
it's stuff like that. That's why I was like, all right, what are the good teachers, or what are the good mics that you should use, or what are the do's and don'ts of the voiceover world?
Right.
Or like, what's the difference between the animation, or like when you do like the legal copy, and you speaking fast and all of that. Like I know there's different tiers of voiceover. It's not just cartoons. It's like
no, that's
you can
true. That's just what I do.
Yeah.
So I don't know a whole lot about. Like there are some people that do commercials mostly who could tell you all about that.
But you're more animation. Like more animation is like your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's cool though. But it's like you're doing like the shows and the movies and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's like cool.
It is very cool.
That's why I'm like, all right, just how people like break.
But
into
I started out completely clueless, like everybody else.
Yeah.
Trying to make my way for years, bumping my head against the wall, broke, trying to like. Maybe I should get a job at Macy's like my mama told me to.
You gotta do what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. That's the whole point of the podcast, is to demystify.
Yeah.
Like, breaking into this and how to get in, because some people may not. I've never heard of these people that you've named, but they're like big in that world. So now it's like, I can like look that person up now, and now I can see what they teach, or that's who I go to get like the best quality voiceover reel. So I feel that's very helpful.
Chuck Duran, I'll tell you what.
Chuck Duran. So I'll people out there listening, check that out.
D. Bradley Baker. He has the whole list of this long thing where he wrote out how to get started.
Okay.
Bob Bergen is another amazing animation teacher who teaches beginners.
Okay.
I'm not sure Charlie Adler teaches beginners so much, but Bob Bergen does. Yeah. He's amazing.
Okay.
When you look them up, you're gonna just see
tons of stuff. That's why people listening, people watching, to know where they can go and where they can get the stuff. All right, let's get into the speed round.
Let's do it.
Speed round. Who are your top 5 voiceover actors?
In no particular order.
Yeah.
Cree Summer.
Okay.
Deborah Wilson. Charlie Adler. Daniel Ross is pretty stinking amazing. God, there's so many. Gray Delisle.
Gray who?
Delisle.
Ooh, okay. All right. Who would you like to work with? One person. Who would you like to?
Who I haven't worked with?
Yeah, or who would you like to, share that voice booth with?
Ooh, probably Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill?
Yeah.
Who is he?
He was Luke Skywalker, but now he does voiceover and he's amazing.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to look up some Batmans that he's been in. Some Batman cartoons.
Batman, yeah.
He's the Joker. No,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Okay.
Him and Kevin Conroy have gone back and forth.
See,
on
like
that.
all of these names, I'm like, I don't even know who they play. I don't know
that's so
who. It's so
weird.
crazy. I'm like,
They're huge.
Great delight. Who do these people play? Like,
that
who
hurts
are
my
they?
soul.
What?
You know who Cree Summer is?
I don't know who any of those people.
Okay,
yet.
Cree Summer was on It's Different Worlds.
Damn, that was a while ago.
Oh, see, you're a baby. I forgot.
Yeah, it's a different world. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people that may not know these people. I don't know. I'm at the Google. Everybody. I'm like, I don't know who these people. If you could choose one genre to voiceover act in for the rest of your career, what would it be?
Animation. Cartoons. Preschool shows. It's so much fun.
Okay. If you ran Hollywood, what's the first thing you would change about it?
The first thing I would change about it is the equity between like the races and the people of color. Like the colorism and the racism makes me nuts. And I wish that everybody could if we could just really always pick the best person for the job, wouldn't that be wonderful?
It's never like that. It's never gonna be like that. The first thing I do when I get to set is blank.
Like the first thing I do when I get to the studio?
Mm-hmm.
Pee.
You're gonna be there for a while, so you're gonna get it out. If you weren't a voiceover actress, you would be blank.
An on-camera actress.
Oh, okay. Besides voiceover acting, you're also very good at blank.
Taking care of pets.
Taking care of pets?
I have a lot of pets. They're well cared for.
They're well cared for.
I always say I didn't have a plan B because this is the only skill I have.
This is it. Dang, okay.
I mean, it's a good one, but it's all I got.
It's all I got. The first thing I do when I get an audition is blank.
Dance around. I have a little dance I do. Ooh, the booking. Ooh,
It's time.
Do you say audition or booking?
Audition.
Oh, I said, I thought about booking. I dance around and get excited. But auditions, I usually go straight to my computer, set up all my equipment, and then pretend it's not there, and then just read the copy cold.
Read the copy cold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a zombie apocalypse. You're in the bunker. You're going to be there for a while. You get one movie, one TV show, one album, and one book for your entertainment.
Oh, okay. Album,
Yeah.
Weezer, the Blue Album.
Weezer.
You ever heard of them either?
Never
I'm so sick of you.
I don't know.
I'm so sick of you. Okay, so book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gone Girl. I like that one.
Oh, Gone Girl. That was a good movie.
That'll work. A TV show, Gossip Girl.
Gossip
I
Girl.
can watch that over and 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 over. And movie. Never Ending Story.
Never Ending Story. This is your camera right here. Feel free. This is good, man. This is good. Tell people, where they can find you, like social media and all that, and then what do you have, next lined up that you can speak of, and then any last minute gems for any voiceover actors out there.
There's literally nothing I can speak of because we have to sign like 1,000 NDAs on every single job. They're like, don't even think about it. We'll know. I'm always so afraid to even tell my family. I'm like, I can't talk about it. But there's a lot of cool stuff coming out next year. I cannot wait to talk about. But I'm on Instagram, Secunda Wood VO. SECUN as in Nancy, D as in dog, A, V as in Victor, O.
Oh, there you go.
Because there's lots of ways to spell it, apparently. So that's the best way. And I'm also on Twitter.
Okay.
What's my Twitter name? I think it's like Wood Secunda, @Wood Secunda.
Okay.
I think. I'm sorry. I thought I was prepared, but I just names, numbers, and things. But yeah, if you really want to be a voice actor and that's like your passion, then go for it, because there is a lot of space for everyone. That whole thing about like they use the same people over and over again, they do, but those people change, every year, just like everything else. They don't want to use the same people. They love new voices. So never be discouraged. Apparently, I'm old as dirt because I thought he doesn't even know Neverending Story. So you can, I've only been doing this for what, 7 or 8 years. So you can start anytime. And I promise it's worth it. It's worth it. If you really want to do it, there's absolutely so much work because there's Netflix now. It used to just be cartoons on, TV channels. Right. Now it's HBO Plus, it's Netflix. There is so much room for everyone. So just don't let anybody tell you that or discourage you, because there is.
Nice. And then you have any other projects that people can look out for that you can't speak on? Like, I know you got a whole bunch of stuff on Netflix.
I know. But I can't even think of the name of all the stuff. Oh my gosh. There's one on HBO Max that I am super proud of, but I just cannot think of the name of it to save my freaking life. Michael B. Jordan is the producer on it, and he's in the cast. And it's a great show, but I cannot. It's a great show. I cannot think of the name of it. I'm the worst.
Is it that spaceship show? Is it Spaceship or something like that?
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the name of it is either.
I know, but it's great. And my part in it is great, and I'm really proud of it. Yeah. Anyway, just look me up on IMDb and go check everything out, because everything I've ever done, I love. My favorite probably is Mercat, just because she's so cute. I actually have a Mercat plushie that you squeeze and she talks.
Is your voice?
Yes. I know. She's like, it's the bubbles. Spa science. It's so cute.
That's crazy. You just have a toy that talks.
Yes.
To your voice. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
That's tight.
Yeah. So I am not special. I just really love what I do and have a good time and make people happy. When you can do that too. You can join me.
Get out there and get it, y'all. Get out there and get it.
All
right, Secunda. This was great. He dropped some gems, dropped so many, I feel people take a lot, especially with the names that you dropped. Oh, good. Because I didn't even know any of them people.
That is so, you don't know any of them.
I don't know any of them. I don't know any of the names. That's just foreign language.
So that's interesting. I'm glad I did this. I was glad anyway, but I just didn't realize, I thought people knew.
I don't know. All them people, I didn't even know about that conference you were talking about. So
okay. So that's good.
Yeah, I don't know about that whole world. That's why I was like, anything you can say that help, or any other people or like conferences.
If you go to That's VoiceOver, I promise. I know it because I remember the first time I went, I was like, ugh, like everybody knows everybody. You just feel like, all you have to say is that you're new, and they'll just be like, oh wait, how long you been doing it? What do you need? Everybody is this community is so generous and open and kind. Okay. And nobody's looking at you like competition. They're like, oh, hey, welcome. Absolutely. So please don't ever, if any voiceover person that'd be happy to talk to you, give you more information, let you know what you need, and anybody in your circle that they're always open to helping.
That's
always.
Good. That's good. Yeah. That's good, because we met on Madden.
Yes.
We did Madden together. Was that your first? Oh, you did video game before, but when you did like the Division, was that were you in the mocap?
No.
Suit?
Madden 18 was my first.
Oh, that was your first time mocap. In the mocap, really?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm like, because the mocap type of people are normally like in shape, like karate training kind of people.
Yeah.
So I never really even took mocap classes. I'm like, what? Am I gonna be? What am I gonna be in the army? Leave me alone. So I was like, no. So yeah, that was the first one.
Wow.
Because I remember when I got the audition, I was like, for what? So
that's crazy.
Yeah, we were both doing something out of our comfort zone.
Yeah. No, that was my first time.
And you were so I will never forget. I still talk about it. I talk about you to people. I'm like, you met Rickey? He's just so happy to be alive.
He's just so happy to be alive.
It is like so contagious. I was like, this man is just really loving his whole life.
Got to, man.
I was like, you know what? I like this. I like this guy. That was cool. No wonder you get a lot of work. Your positivity just like exudes out of your freaking pores and your nose and your ears. You're like, I will shine on your set. Yes, I will. So I'm like, dang, no wonder you get so much work. I'd want to work. If I had a movie, I'd want to hire you too. I want to write a part for you. I want you on my set as well.
I appreciate it.
I sure would.
Hey, man.
You are great. You are so wonderful.
You are too, man. That's how you working, man. That's a testament to your work, man. You've been working. Like you said, people hire people that they want to be around and that, that they want to, spend long times on the set or whatnot, and you've been working a ton. So, I mean, that's a testament
but I'm sure you have gotten lots of rehires too, because that's just how it works, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's exclusionary, but I think it's once you get yourself in there, people love people that are nice and cool and easy to work with.
Is that how it is for like voiceover? Like once you work, like if you work with a certain director, say you work with a director, do you have to audition for that director again, or are you like,
sometimes.
I already know?
No, sometimes. It depends.
So
because like sometimes, sometimes I'm taking people out to lunch after we have the session, and we're friends on Facebook. Yeah. And so they'll just call me directly and be like, okay, I have this thing. And then sometimes people like you, but they still want you to audition. And the good news is I don't care. Yeah. Because if it's an audition, if it's a callback, if it's a next job, I'll take it. I'm happy and grateful for all of it. And I think that's why, that's one of the secrets of our success. People who work a lot is because we really do like to be there and want to be there. And we're not about egos and all that. And I just think to us it seems normal, but there's it's few and far between apparently. Because people are so appreciative. Like I did this music session for this show. It's called something in the I can't even think of the name of the show. I'm so upset with myself. I can't. My whole brain is not even working today. But it's a preschool show. I did this amazing song, and it was so fun. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best music session we've ever had." It's like this people at Nickelodeon. I'm like, that can't be true. And they were like, "Yes, this is so much fun." And I was like, who's coming in here and getting to sing a song for Nickelodeon and not having a good time? Yeah. Can you tell me who these people are? So I can go talk to them. Who is coming in here all mad about it? Like, you gonna sing a song? Yeah, like what? Are you serious?
What?
That's insane to me.
You gotta keep that energy. You gotta put your
something in the Monster Machines. I can't remember the first name, but something in the Monster Machines, and I'd auditioned for it like probably 25 times because I think the show started like almost a decade ago, and I finally got a part, and I had a song, and I was just so happy. I was like, and they were like, "Wow, you are so happy." I'm like, what is not to be happy about?
Yeah, exactly.
I get paid to sing a preschool song today, and it's sassy and funky. I play a big octopus. It's hysterical.
What?
Like, come on now.
Oh, man. It don't get no better than that.
Right.
Thank y'all for checking out another episode of Givin Game, the podcast with my girl, Secunda Wood. Hope y'all picked them gems up and put them to use. If you like what you heard, like the gems that she was dropping off, please subscribe, like, comment, follow the station. We got way more guests with some amazing game coming soon. We're touching all aspects of the industry. So make sure you guys tune in. Support the channel if you can. We got links in the description. Until next time, we'll see you next week with a new guest with some new game. We out. Yeah.